Yo, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Oh, hold on one sec. Hello. Hey, Coach, can I reschedule? I forgot I got a YouTube Live today. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you. Monday works. What time? Yeah, do you know what the date is on Monday? Let me just check with Eric real quick before I... he's got always weird stuff scheduled for me. I think so. 4:30. 99% sure. All right, thanks, Coach. All right, take care. Man, I always double book myself. I forgot what day it was. What's going on, everybody? What y'all doing? Oh, yeah. All right, all right. How's everybody doing? Everybody making money this week? Trying to at least? Yeah, let me know if anybody's new here. Let me know where you from. Let me know who you with, where you from. Hey, Jody, how are you? What's going on, Jacob? What's going on? Jose, how you doing? Awesome. Hey, Ruben, welcome to the family. It's a pleasure to have you. Snapchat, huh? Good job. Niagara Falls. All right, all right, all right. All right, well, let's go do what we do because there's a lot of stuff happening on the markets. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the general market. We've had an awesome run in Bitcoin the last few days. As you guys have probably seen, ton of other plays. We've been killing the chat room with BNB, Bitcoin, and Neo, and some other things. Been a lot of fun stuff going on, but I think there's going to be more opportunities in the next couple weeks. So let's get ready to find some opportunity, and then we'll talk a little bit about shorting because I know that's a question that everybody has been asking me about is like, what do we do when the market's not going up and it's just going down? You know, how do we handle it? What do we do? And so we'll dig into a little bit of that also. So let's roll with this, folks. Let's roll with this to see where we are at. So, whoa. All right, let me grab my charts, and you guys let me know when you can see the charts. The charts. By the way, anybody been anybody been playing this Nano? This thing is HAWT. This thing looks like it's ready to go. I just added this in today, but it looks pretty good. But let's talk a little bit about Sir Bitcoin, and then we'll move on from there. So, okay, hold on here. So let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's actually had a really interesting run the last week since we saw you guys. We pulled back to the level that we've been looking for, and now it looks like we might get a couple days of weakness, but essentially we took a swing trade in this Bitcoin off this 20 SMA right here. I think, what do we do, guys? 9,600 or 9,700? We sold it last night as we ran into resistance. So, guys, this is how resistance works. So one of the things that you can see with Bitcoin is that we've got this big, important downtrend line that's been intact for all of 2018. All of 2018, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend. And we have been testing this downtrend line now. This is the third time. So yesterday was the fourth time, but it didn't really break through. It's kind of resting. And the reason why, guys, for those of you guys that, you know, are a little bit newer to trading, anytime why I sold my Bitcoin was that anytime you test the downtrend line and you're running multiple days into breakout, see, like today would have been the third green day. So anytime you're 3 days into a run or a bounce and you test the downtrend line, what happens, guys, is you're just too tired to break out. You're just too tired to break out. And so what goes down is, remember that like a coin is like a person. If you run too far, too fast, you get tired. And so you have to have a rest. And so we're tapping into this level again, which is going to be the key level. But we had bounced already, you know, 1,400 points into that level, which is just too aggressive. So now what we're going to need to see is a little bit of a pullback and then probably a go like that, right? So ideally a pullback somewhere above 9,400. A pullback above 9,400 and then a move over is going to probably set this thing right. So I want you to keep your Bitcoin, you know, on your watch list. This range is tightening up. So it's going to come down, pop up. It may even come down one more time and then go. But that range is tightening nonstop. And so that's the hot range right there. Jody, the charts are up, darling. The charts are up. So that's where you've got to go with this thing. It's kind of, we may come back and pull in, but it doesn't mean that the run's over. You know, we're just having this range right here really, really tighten. And once that trend line breaks, I think we have some potential opportunity to get really, really, to get juicy over here. So I keep an eye on this bad boy. We're getting ready for a run. So, you know, right now what I'm doing is, you know, I'm buying into these dips and kind of selling into the spikes till this downtrend line breaks and holds. You know, that's going to be the main thing. You see, we peaked over it for a hot second, but we didn't hold, right? We really need a close above the level for us to know that it's going to happen for sure. But this one is right on our watch list. It looks pretty good. I think we're going to have to be, you know, on the hunt now for any setup in Bitcoin that does that. Let's look at King Ethereum. So King Ethereum here has got a couple things going on over here. So we've got this support that's been building out at that 800 mark. And the dips towards 800 have been getting bought up. And we similar have a trend line break that's setting up here if we can get over that 900. So kind of what's happening in the middle is, you know, we've kind of tested into that trend line. Now what's going to need to probably happen is we may dip down a little bit and then kind of take a go at this. Or, you know, we may dip down and test this trend line, dip down and then go. So there's a couple different options that's going to happen. But, you know, we're almost overbought here. And so we may dip down for a couple days. And then, you know, we'll start to watch this thing as this range tightens. Guys, when you have a wide range and you get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, there's nowhere to go. At some point, the range is compressed so deeply that it creates explosion. It creates that power that we need. And we're almost there for some mega runs. As long as we can break, things are looking good. Now, Litecoin's looking a little bit different here. You know, this is the second coin. So watch those two setups in Bitcoins. Now, Litecoin's a little bit different. You know, you came out of the downtrend line. You see that? We busted out of that downtrend line already. And we took it out, and then we made a huge pop, over 100%. And so now we're just marinating here. Right, we're in consolidation city while we wait for this pattern to emerge. So one thing we notice is that the dips are getting bought over here, right? The dips are getting bought over here. but we're going to need some time. We had a fake breakout over here, and, you know, we kind of tried to pop up here, but now we're pulling back. Overall, the pattern is constructive, but it just needs work, right? We're kind of just, you know, just stuck in this box over here, a little triangle. And so as this thing comes back, you know, maybe we'll come back in and take it out this way. But overall, it looks good. There's two ways to play this. You can buy the dips. You can buy the dips in this as long as 180 holds. So as long as this level holds right here, we can buy this, right? And so essentially we're just kind of in a box right now. And once this box breaks, you know, we'll be really kind of back up, you know, into the races. But how boxes work, guys, when you're doing box trading in general is when you're in a box, what you have to do is the only thing you can do while the box is forming is you can trade inside the box, right? So, you know, if you say this is the top of the box, how do you make this? Ooh. So if this is a fave, then where does it go? I mean, they should pile this thing up right up here, huh? That'd be way cooler. So if this is your box, there's two options that you have, right? So you're going back and forth in the box. That's all fine and dandy. But till that box breaks, all you can do is trade this box. So, you know, you're going to be buying the dips towards the bottom of the box, selling towards the top, buying the dips towards the bottom of the box, selling to the top, till that box breaks. And so that's how this thing is going to work. So, you know, now we're starting to, this last dip really works. So now we're starting day 3. If we get one more down day right here, Litecoin will be at an interesting level to make just a range trade back to the top of the box, which would be 240. So we'll have this kind of range till the top of the box breaks. And then, then we're going to be really good. So how do you use this favorites toolbox? Where does it go? Maybe it just hangs out over here, huh? I wouldn't worry about it. All right, so that's our game plan for Litecoin. Is if I get another dip, if we get one more down day, guys, I'm adding this thing with the stop under 180 is kind of how I'm working this thing. So I'll add this thing with the stop under this level right here, and we'll be buying, you know, we'll be buying this box as we start this, you know, as we're starting to form, and then we'll play this thing back to the upside. So overall, all Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, they look constructive. Keyword constructive, but they are not ready for big time, prime time, show time, naked time, beer time as of the moment. But they could be with a little bit of work. So we'll be trading the box till the box breaks, right? It sounds dirty, right? But that's the way we've got to kind of play this, because otherwise we'll be just, you know, if you buy too high while the box is forming, and if you buy into the spikes, they just come back down, right? And so that's where we've got to really come in and make sure that we're watching this thing properly. So just got to keep an eye on it, and this thing is going to be ready to go. So all of this stuff looks constructive. My favorite name for the moment right now is this Neo, right? So this Neo is my favorite as of the moment. Does anybody know why this is my favorite? Anybody know why this is my favorite and why this is so different than Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin right now? Does anybody know why it's different? Oh, come on. Come on. Why is this different? Well, the reason it's different is that it's already broken. Good, Yash. It's already broken, right? It's already broken out. So we're not sitting there inside the box. We've beaten that box, right? We broke the box. We broke the pattern. We broke the breakout. And so now it's in the clear. Now, it did have 1, 2, 3 days of run, and it went really on a nice run from 110 to kind of the 145. So now it's having a rest day up here, but this is healthy. As long as it can hang out above this trend line and these moving averages, this thing is ready to go. I'm looking to hit this thing for a swing trade on any dip down towards this level. What's an ASF? Man, I'm not familiar. I just learned the term moon yesterday. That's crazy. There's a lot of different stuff that happens in cryptos. All the terms are weird. So any type of dip down this way is going to be really, really good. I'm going to enjoy. I think this is my top pick, right? This is my favorito out of all the kind of major altcoins. I trade this one on Binance. You can trade it on Bittrex also. You could do it in the BTC pair, ETH pair. There's a lot of, there is a lot of different ways to trade it, but this is the hot one. This is the hot one that I think is going to be something that we have to be watching. Now, Neo's ugly redheaded sister is OMG. Neo's stepsister is OMG. When one runs, this one tends to run too. This one is also broken out. And guys, this thing moves, man. It was prime time. We were watching this in the chat room yesterday, and it was showtime, prime time, all day, all night. This is what you want to see when you're trading, right? You want to see that range, and you want to see the ability to trend. So you can see like the patterns in this workout just so well. Flat top breakout, VWAP pullbacks, all of this type of action works. Now, we two-tapped it here. We've come back, but this one is looking really good. It looks similar to Neo, but it's a little bit above its trend. It's a little bit above its trend line break. So we're going to need a slight tap back on this bad boy, a little tap back, a little flagnation, a little flagzilla, some marination for the constipation, and then we're going to get this thing going. We need maybe another day or two to let this thing just kind of gurgle, and then I think we're going to be good to go. So, guys, when we're talking about these trades, get your pen out, right? Take just a little bit of notes so that you know the levels to watch, right? So any kind of pullbacks towards this 18, we'll have our 9 EMA, we'll have our trend line here, so we'll have multiple levels of support. Guys, the confluence of support areas is very, very important when you're thinking about trading. We want to have a confluence of support. So just something to just be mindful of when we're going into these things is a confluence is where it means multiple levels of support give more power. They give more demand in an area. They give it more confirmation, that move can hold and that there's real demand that's going to be building up in that area. So just keep an eye on this. I love this one too. So the little Chinese cryptos is hot right now. The land of the rising sun is putting out the hot cryptos. These are my two favorite because they've already busted loose. Now we just need a little marination station to get these things going. The rest of these all kind of look like junk. They look okay, but, there's not much. This ETC is just stuck in a range. The thing is, even if it breaks the top of the range here, it'll be too extended to say, to actually sustain a breakout. So, something like an ETC, like it need to pop up to make a lower high. And then, we would need really some work before this thing is going to be doing it. See, every time it hits the breakout, its 9 EMA is just too damn far away. And so it's going to be good. RSI, I don't know. It depends on what you want to use RSI for, but it's not really useful in cryptos from what I've seen. Relative strength is what index would you compare it to, So that's why I don't use it. Plus we use stochastics, yes, which is just, it's kind of redundant, So, you know, there's no point in using both because they kind of, you know, you can switch one for the other essentially. No, you shouldn't. Nobody can ever use, guys, indicators for entries and exits. It's not American. It's not allowed. Indicators are used for confirmation, but never for buying and selling. Never use any indicator for the rest of your lives for buying and selling. And the reason is indicators are there to confirm and add probability to our price patterns, but they're not used for trading decisions. So just something to kind of keep an eye on. I really like this BNB, but this one's come a long way. So it was at 860. It got up to 11. You know, it's got resistance at 12. I think if this one can just kind of sideways consolidate for a little bit and break that 12, I think we're gonna have a nice little party on this thing. But it's gonna need a little bit of time, or we're gonna need this thing to come back down. Yeah, keep an eye on that nano for me, Jason. I'm not telling you to short Bitcoin, Mr. Gunslinger. If you had ears, you'd see that we were long Bitcoin up until yesterday. Get that wax out of your ears, buddy. Don't come into daddy's kitchen spouting lies. Only one man cooks the food here. Only one man. So we'll keep an eye on this bad boy. It's going to have a little bit more work to do, and then we'll be good to go. Now, out of the rest of this stuff, it's all okay, but we're not really, into the, into some of these. The rest of them are just kind of sitting around, right? So there's nothing really in this. There's nothing in some of these things. You know, you see like Bitcoin Gold, ugly. XMR, just looking at it, right? So if you've got to squint your eyes, at a chart, it's not good. It's just the range is not tight enough. And if it ain't tight, oh, it ain't right, right? I know a lot of you guys are looking at XRP. I think with XRP, it's going to need some more work. You know, everybody likes XRP because it's cheap, but the problem is that, you know, it's just been stuck for so long. So now what this thing needs, it's got to really break over this $1 mark to get going. So I've got an alert set here. If it breaks over these EMAs in $1, and then if that happens, you know, it may run to 120, but it's going to take a lot more work to really get over 120. So this is not anything I'm particularly watching. I mean, for all we know, this could be a, darn bear flag too, right? If it breaks lower, you may see this thing down to 40. So it's really tricky in terms of what we're trying to do. So this one I kind of leave alone, but it's going to take some work. Yeah, UKG's in the dumper for now. It had the epic run that we were looking for. At that point, once you have the run, you're going to be done for a while. They introduced live betting in a handful of days. Yeah, this thing got up to 16 sats. I mean, this thing was $2. I unloaded 2/3 of my position. I kept some legacy shares, and I'm trying to reload back. If I can get down into the 2s, I'll probably reload some back, as this is more of a long-term play for me. But man, it had the epic run, so now it's just got to come back and really, really get going. So, long-term, I probably like this. They're going to introduce live betting for esports, I think April 6th. So that might, get a little juice for the tokens, and we'll see how it acts. But it's got to kind of get over these 4 or 5 levels before it's going to do anything. Nano, something that I'm in right now. I don't like doing too many of these smaller pairs, but I do like this one. You have a reversal candle right here. Guys, this is called a hammer candle. And hey, Gunslinger, I was just kind of messing with you there. Don't take it personally. Sometimes I just say stupid shit here because I like to hear myself speak. You got a reversal candle over here. See how you tested down to the trend line and you completely reverse. So now what's going down is with the reversal candle, if it breaks out over this trend line, we'll be good to go. Who knows where it can go? You know, this thing, you know, obviously was like kind of a pump and dump on its first few days, but now it's starting to recharge its batteries and build up some stamina, as the great emperor would say. So we'll see how this thing goes in terms of, man, look at you guys speaking in some Sputnik over there. Woo! What kind of language is that, Robert? Is that, man, that's wild. We need a translator. So these are some of the different ones to kind of get going. So guys, a lot of people have asked, like, you know, what are the day trading strategies while you're waiting around for something to set up? So like, for example, for us, you know, like I'm very bullish on Ethereum. You know, we always, you know, day trade Ethereum, and it's one of the ones that I tend to swing trade a lot for kind of bigger thrust. But in the meantime, like when the markets get weak or something gets a little bit dicey in terms of you're going to pull back for a few days, what I will do is take quick counter trend trades in Ethereum while I'm waiting for the market to find some support or some footing to make day trading income. Where I do that is at Kraken. The reason I do it there is that, you know, well, they're only one of a handful that even lets you. But the reason I do it at Kraken is they let you do it in USD, you know, and that's going to be really, really important for me. I hate, like on Polynex, like when you short and you got to do the BTC pair and all that stuff. On Kraken, you can short in USD. That's the good old-fashioned American dollar, right? Good old-fashioned American dollar. And Theodore, I'm just messing. Those are my buddies. They're my students. I talk to them like that. Guys, sometimes if I'm rude to somebody, it's usually a student of mine that I know very well personally. I don't do it to strangers unless I'm just walking around by myself and I know nobody's looking. Then I might be mean to strangers. But otherwise, we're good to go. So I use Kraken. They give you up to 5-to-1 margin on Ethereum and Bitcoin. The rest of the coins, they don't really give much margin for. It's like 2-to-1 on ETC, none on Litecoin. So you got to, you know, it's the main ones that you can trade, Ethereum and Bitcoin. But it's really, really good for shorting. I'm going to show you a couple of setups that I do for like those kind of quick counter trend trades that will get you a little bit of side income to get you going. So, you know, one of the things, let me bring back up my charts. Let me bring back up my charts and hold on here. So this is our So last week we did a few different trades. In ETH. So let me get back into this here. Hold on here. There we go. So ETH short 813. Hold on, give me a sec. ETH short 867, 846. Okay. So we took quite a few shorts on the Ethereum Lord for a handful of days. So our first short in Ethereum that we did was I shorted 894 with the stop at 900, so risk $6. I covered some at 862, then I covered the rest at 888. So that was on the 20th. So let's get into this. Hold on one second. The 20th. You know, I'm not a huge fan of TradingView. It's cool. I mean, I like it, and it's the best out of all the crypto brokers. But there's a lot. I don't like the fact that I don't know if I like web-based platforms, but I love this go-to feature on it. So this would have been the 20th. I love the feature on here where you can go to like specific dates. That to me is boss. So let's go to the Ethereum Lord. So Ethereum, so this is kind of your classic. This is how we do shorts on this. So one of the things that happened with the market for a couple days was you could see like you just been sitting in a range. So I do this all the time. When you're just kind of sitting around in a range like this, but you're stuck at like resistance spots, or, you know, where you've got to come back. So you can see like Ethereum went from 500 to 980s, and then you know that the pullback's coming, right? So we're starting to look to short it as it's stalling out at resistance. So one of the things that I'll do is, you know, I'll just make ranges. We'll make like bigger ranges in the different names when they're just stuck. And so what we do is essentially, and then once it breaks, I'll just keep hammering the short for small gains, like over and over and over. So, hey, Jody, and I will, you know, I'll let me get into that, or email my guy Eric, and he'll walk you through any of the Canadian stuff. So we took this short 894 at 6 o'clock. So I covered half about an hour later for $32, right? Which is pretty good. If you're thinking about an hour, less than an hour trade, that's what we're trying to do. So as this thing started to break down and we took down these lows, you know, I'm shorting Ethereum as we break down. So you had 1 test, 2 tests, and 3 tests. Now, I tried to short this at 910, and what I accidentally market ordered this thing, and so I got a little bit of a lower fill. But the basis of the trade is, you know, when you have multiple tests in a range that you break down from, what happens is, what ticker are you watching, Jason? Oh, shit. Nano. Good, good, good. Guys, keep an eye on Nano for me if you can. So as this thing breaks down, we want to take a short in Ethereum. On Kraken, what I usually do is I use the 5-to-1 leverage so that I don't use up too much buying power. And that's what can get it. So as we get, when you're shorting and you take these kind of big flushes, what you want to do is always look for multiple tests, right? Take the short as it's breaking back down. And then what we want to be doing is really covering up into the flush. And the reason you want to cover up into the flush is when you're going counter trend, meaning that, you know, you've got something that's been really bullish and you're going the opposite, you want to take those really, really big flushes. The other thing is that when you're using margin, if you get 20, 30 points, you know, your gains are going to be the same as, right, if you got a lot, if you had a lot more points. You want to keep taking profits, especially when you're on margin, because if it goes the other way, you can lose just as much. So into this flush, I always cover. When I get a tail like this, see this tail right here? When I get a tail like that, it usually means you're getting way too extended. And if you're too far away from your 9 EMA, it's going to come bouncing right back. And so I ended up covering half of it an hour later at 862. And I covered the rest like a handful of minutes later at 888 and just took the profits as this thing started to rip back. Because I don't want it to go above where my buy price is, because I can just short it again when the pattern emerges. So now what we want to be doing is, after we take our first profit, we want to be watching to see if a new range builds. So as this starts to build its range, see how it's just going sideways? Now, an important thing when you think about ranges, guys, is you want the tightening of range, right? So you can see what's happening here is, hold on here. You can see like how this range is wide, and then see how it gets tighter, 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 and tighter. So that range that's building is a tightening range. And what happens when you guys get a tightening range is it builds up more power to potentially short. So as this breaks back down, right, you got 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, 5 tests of that trend line. As it breaks down, what we want to be doing is looking to re-short this thing into the flush. And what you'll end up getting, even though it doesn't look like it's pulled back much, you start compiling 40, 20, 30, 40, 50 point trades, and you do them over and over the course of a day, you know, they add up into a big winner. And so the shorts on Ethereum were really my #1 play for last week. You know, as we, you know, as this thing consolidated again and it broke down, we took another short in this thing and kind of covered this thing down in the flush at 7, 8, you know, the 780s. It just wouldn't go any lower than that. I'd end up covering out. You could see like it was base in here and then it just ripped back. And so I had to take profits. But in the end, you know, we ended up taking like 4 trades on Ethereum, taking, you know, 20, 30 points each every single time. And it ends up being a good way to just get quick income quick income while you're waiting for bounces. So it's just a quick counter trend trade, but I only do it when I think Ethereum is going to go down for a few days. So I'm not just longing and shorting Ethereum at will. That's really a no-no in trading. And the reason why you don't want to do it like that, guys, so when you're trading, I want you to think about trading as always, a couple things. When you're trading, you always want to have an idea, a thesis behind the trade on a bigger picture scale. So I want to short Ethereum if I think I'm seeing a pattern intraday. I'll only short Ethereum if I think it's hit some level of resistance and my risk is minimized, and then I think it's going to pull back for a few days. I'll take those quick kind of counter trend shorts while I'm waiting for a bounce, as I am long-term bullish on Ethereum and the Bitcoin and the Litecoin and NEO and so on and so forth. But these type of quick trades, they add up. If you can get 20 points, 30 points, and you do it in an hour or two, you're really in the good. See, the one thing to remember about all trading is, you go up and stair steps. But when you come down, it's just a flush. Your coins will fall much faster than they ever go up, unless it's a pump and dump with some shady ICO, right? But out of the major ones. And so what we need to always be doing is we need to make sure that we take those big flushes, take your profits a little bit quicker. But remember that they add up. As day traders, we want to hit it, quit it, and then re-hit it. It's like a wow, you're right, and then just keep going for it. And that's the way, we want to be shorting these things. Now, I don't make it a habit to sit there and short Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, but we use it sporadically when the market's dead, because the worst thing you can do is waste a week of your life, right? Sometimes when the market's been running for a few days, it stalls out. You lose its momentum. You're just sitting around waiting for the dip to come so you can buy. Well, instead of waiting for the dip to come and buy and sitting there just twerking our fingers, right, or twerking something else, we can use Kraken, or, you could use Polynex, or, there's now Bitcoin futures. You can use some of these tools to take some income trades and really, really shred in a nice manner. So just something we do in our chat room, and it's kind of fun. And I'll tell you what, like when you're trading, I think it's more fun when you make money shorting than it is longing. Like, it's just more fun. I don't know why, but it just is. When you're shorting and you making money, and like other people are kind of losing, like you're kind of like, man, this is awesome, right? This is awesome. Like I gotta go in and do this, right? So I love shorting. It's one of my favorite things to do. So just kind of, I would keep an eye on. I keep an eye on some of these, brokers and stuff like that let you short. Kraken's got an awful reputation, but the last month, man, their platform's been working like butter, Let's open this thing up to some questions. I know a lot of you guys gave me some tickers, and like I'm some ticker jockey, but I'd love to look at some of these tickers for you guys. And I don't care if they're stock tickers or coin trick tickers. As you guys know, there's more money and better trading in the stock market than there's ever going to be in the coin market. Coins are just fun because it's new. You got this new toy, but the stock market is where we still make most of our money. And the reason the stock market's better is because you only have to trade 30 minutes a day, where in crypto, sometimes you're up at like 2 a.m. and you're like, come on, move 2 pennies. I can get all my work done in the stock market. Stock market's more volatile. See, cryptos have more percentage range, but it happens over 24 hours. The stock market, you may have a stock that moves 5, 10%, but it's going to do it in 30 minutes right at the open. When there's no open, it's like, whatever. But I'm excited about the, just the world of cryptos and stuff. And so, over time, hopefully they become 50-50. But in the meantime, oh yeah, We're in this game to shred. Good, 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 good. Now let's take a look at some of these tickers. Man, my Binance hasn't been, the Binance web app is so dick these days. Hold on, let me see if I can even get this thing running. I haven't been trading pot stocks, to be honest. Let's take a look here. So let me show you how to set the stop on the Binance. By the way, guys, this is a good, when you, YouTube is like the best stuff to figure out how to use these platforms. So like hypothetically, if you guys can see my platform. So hypothetically, let's see. Right, so like say Nano, right? So say I want to put a stop loss on Nano, okay? And I'm judging and saying, okay, I want to put my stop loss right here at 14.004. So what you're going to do is hit the stop limit button, right? And what you want to do is put in the area where you want the stop loss. So put a stop loss at 140. Right, and then you want to give it a limit of, like what you'd be willing to accept, right? Because there's always a slippage. So, you know, you would put in like say 0.00135, put in your total amount, and then boom, right? You're going to sell this up. Aziz, what's up, motherfucker? Aziz Asari in the house. What up? Great question. He says, why are you not on the yacht somewhere on the beach partying? Well, I do live on the beach and I'm always partying. That's for sure. But Aziz, I am going to own 30 fucking businesses by the time I'm said and done. Trading is a job. You're telling me you think that every successful day trader in the world makes $1 billion? No. And I'm not going to make $1 billion trading, but I'll probably have $1 billion when I'm all said and done. I'm going to have businesses in everything. Technology, real estate, restaurants, trading, everything you can get your hands on because I am the money man. I am the money man. Never met any business person in the world that just sits there and owns one business. That's fucking crazy. So what you would be saying is, why does Elon Musk have Solar City? Why does he want to send people to Mars if he has Tesla? Right? Why would he have two businesses? Oh my God, shouldn't he be just sitting on a yacht fucking jerking off on models all day? He's worth $30 billion. Why is he sitting on a yacht jerking it around? No, man, he's a builder, right? You know, that's what we do. We are businessmen. And I actually have fun. Trading is a nerd's job. And look at me. I'm a god amongst traders in my looks. Look at this physique. No, I'm just kidding. You know, trading is boring too, man. You need friends. You know, you need friends. You need stuff to go. You need stuff to do. So I own real estate. I own a bunch of Quiznos. I own bulls on Wall Street. I own bulls on Crypto Street. I have my own hedge fund, and I'm going to be building a lot more stuff than that. That's the way I do things. Now, Aziz, maybe you got to go and find yourself some businesses, but that's the way I just like to do things, man. Why you got to, you know, and teaching is pretty fun too. I do like teaching, and I do like shilling. I'm a salesman. I am a salesman at heart. And guess what? I'm a good one too. Hell, why wouldn't I shill? I'm a good shiller. I'm one of the best shillers around, baby. That's the way it goes. So that's why I do stuff. I like to keep busy. I like to build businesses. And I like to trade. I got a lot of interest. Heck, I'd like to buy a basketball team someday because I like basketball. You ever see the owners of the NBA, right? They don't do that for their full-time job. People do stuff. And I like to do stuff too. Plus, the money's good. I'm just kidding, Aziz. It's a great question, and I'm just messing with you. It's a good question. So now, let's get into some other stuff. So that is, let's get into some of these tickers. Somebody asked about OMG, BTC. So OMG is one that I like. We were just talking about this. I do like this. You know, this is a good looking name. This is a good looking name. You see, you got this big range break right here. And guys, I'm just teasing, you know. I don't mind those type of questions. That comes with the territory. I mean, I am literally selling classes, right? It's a good question. Test. Boom, right? That's the way it goes. And by the way, guys, day trading is a job. There are full-time day traders that make $50,000. It's just like any company. You have your lower level people, they might make a little money. You have your middle managers, you have your directors, you have your vice presidents, and then you have one CEO, right? For every 1,000 full-time traders, there's might be one, you know, that makes big money, but there's quite a few that are just making good money. You know, that's just the nature of the game. So we got test. I do like this one a lot. I think this is something you got to keep on your radar. It looks pretty good. Hey, Twisted, it's good to see you, by the way. I like to see how your 9 EMA is just creeping up right over it. Now you're having a rest day here, guys, and that's going to be, you know, that's going to be important to kind of just hold this zone. But overall, I would say that that looks pretty good. Let me see. I can't find an EMH. Oh, maybe that's in the stock world. Oh, ADT. I'm sorry, Mr. Goldberg. ADT. Are you in the BTC pair? So me personally, this is not something on my radar. And the reason is that, you know, it's just kind of a giant poo-poo platter of, you know, it's not anything that, even if the 1 hour setup is good, I can't take the trade. I can't take the trade even if the 1 hour setup's good because it's under too much resistance. Remember that we want to get, you know, oftentimes your breakouts will fail if your daily chart is not clean enough. And so, you know, this could go, but there's also a chance it just plops back down because it's running into resistance on its daily. I can't find EMH. Lowe's. Lowe's had bad earnings today. You know, you may see this thing fall down into the 80s before it really finds any, you know, any traction. You got your 200 SMA there. So I don't know if you're long or short this, but I'd probably leave this alone until you start to see how it acts at the 200. It's fallen a long ways. You know, its earnings have just been probably not as good as they wanted, but you know, overall, this is not, for me, this is not a buy yet. You know, it's got some work to do. I never want to buy stock that just missed on earnings for a long time, because usually when one set of bad news comes out, you'll have more come out soon. TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx. Now, oh yeah, people love the TRX, huh? So TJ Maxx is interesting because this is a key breakout today on your weekly time frame, guys. Test. You know, this is something to watch. Like if this thing starts to pull back or flag over the next few days, you had a nice volume push on this. I think that this one could be something that has some room to run. Guys, one of the hardest things to break in trading is the power of a trend. And what we're having here on this, and I've never liked retail stocks to trade, but this is a breakout going back from about 2016. So it's got some room to run. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. So I'd be okay with you keeping that on your watch list. Let's take a look at TRX. You guys, people love TRX. Well, one thing you can say about the TRX is that it's really hanging on this, 3 level. If it does start to break out and make some higher highs, you'll see people rush into it, because at this point, it's it's a cult stock, right? It's a cult hero stock. People have been trying to bounce this thing since we've been doing YouTube lives, and so there's probably a pent-up group of people that will buy this if it breaks out. You're just going to be more a matter of timing it, because when something's fallen this much, it's just bag holder city. So you're going to have to watch this range, and the range is compressing. I would not be surprised if it goes. I mean, it's obviously a turd, having fallen this much, but they're all turds in a way. Hey, Adam, how you doing, brother? So Adam's question is, do you short this market? Yeah, so even in the bullish markets in the stocks, we short like stocks that have bad earnings, post earnings. We'll take shorts in like PR plays or like overextended stocks. But like on days like today where, you're having some, real weakness, we can use inverse ETFs or some of the bigger name stocks that are extended, and we'll take those short. Now, for me, I didn't get to really play in the market dump today. And the reason I didn't get to play in the market dump today was that I lost $2,500 in the morning. That's kind of my max pain. And the reason was because I made some emotional mistakes at the open. I oversized one position, and then I had another position I was up $800 on. And I come back, I took a loss on it because I was greedy. And so I learned some valuable lessons today. That very rarely happens to me, but some days you just get so gung-ho, and I think that's what happened to me today. I got so damn gung-ho at the open. I've been, I got a good night's. My problem, I think what happened was I had a good night's sleep. I went to bed early. I woke up. I went for a walk on the beach. I was like cruising around. I prepared. I was so damn prepared. I had the perfect watch list that I just went, I blew my load in the first 15, 20 minutes. I'm way better when I'm a little bit unrested, slightly hungover, and I've got to really focus. I'm just messing, but not really. But I think, I made some mental errors today. So there was some good shorts in the market today, but unfortunately, I did not play. Anybody else got any? XLM, I'm sorry. Hold on, let's take a look. Hey, Josh, is there any way to get one of those kind of things so I don't have to do the hangouts every time I got just my face in the corner? That'd be nice. I see all the other YouTubers with them. All right, so XLM. Stellar. People love Stellar, huh? Yeah, I do play the UVXY sometimes. So you may see some traction on Stellar over here. As of the moment, it's just weak because it's not, it's not gaining any footing around here, is it? So I just be a little bit mindful of this. I think that it could hold here, but if it doesn't, it's going to probably fall down to here. You've got some room to fall. So to me, this is kind of a stay away. Oh, yeah, I have OBS on my darn computer too, I think. Let me see. think I got it. Yeah, I got the OBS. Yeah, you could have shorted AKRX today. I had it on watch for green to red also. Passive income genius. I love the name, brother. Hey, good question. So, guys, Brian's asking, you know, he's finding himself trading too big or too small. Brian, that's really easy. So if you're trading too big, you're trading too small, hit the one in the middle. Right? Hit the one in the middle. What movie is that from? Rocky IV. Right, Paulie? I'm seeing 3 of them. Hit the one in the middle. Man, I love Rocky IV. That's the best one. It's got to be. Oh, yeah. So, Brian, you may want to just come up with an acceptable. I would do maybe 2 things. I have different risk parameters for like little baby coins and then like your major coins. Like I'm willing to risk more on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin because they have liquidity and I can track them and I can trade them in USD versus like the altcoins when you got to do the pairs and they kind of pop and drop and do all that kind of stuff. You know, so I come up with 2 different risk systems. You know, for me, and you may be the opposite. Some people want to risk more on the alts and less on the majors. I like to do more on the majors and less on the alts, but come up with 2 risk systems. So it's like, all right, well, if I find a hot altcoin, right, you know, give itself a tier 1, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 kind of thing. You know, if it's tier 1, like my chart, I have a chart pattern. I like the fundamentals. My risk is low. I can go this size, you know, so you keep it real simple. If it's tier 2, it's just like, oh, it's just kind of a technical trade. You know, I think I got a good entry, go tier 2, right? So on and so forth. So just have like, you know, because a lot of times when people whip out the spreadsheets and stuff, they're like, and I notice you're big into those spreadsheets. I have your spreadsheet start on my thing. There's like 18 damn tabs on it, right? So rather than that, go tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is like, I have the perfect storm of story, fundamentals, news, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is that you judge. I don't read the news or fundamentals, but I know you do. So that's your tier 1. I can put in $10,000. You know, my tier 2 is I can blah, 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 blah. You know, so I'm going to do this. And that way you're, you know, still, you know, you're still kind of sizing in for the hotter trades, but you're staying small and stuff that you just kind of throwing darts at. And by the way, in cryptos, there's money in throwing darts, right? There's random shit that always kind of you're waiting on and explodes. So, you know, keep a percentage of your account for the throwing the darts trades and, you know, and then just tier it accordingly. And then, of course, like with Bitcoin, Ethereum, stuff like that, you can use margin and stuff like that. So there's just more, you can take a little bit more risk in size. And also that, right, it's just easy to use stop losses in those because they're liquid and they trade everywhere. Anybody else get any questions? Oh, man, Nano, you little hoe. Good, 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 good. All right, well, hey, good. It was good to see everybody. I got to get running because I got another appointment in 1 minute. Please, I dare you to, right, reach out to me if you need any help with anything. You know, I love playing heroes, so if you ever need help with anything, you just let me know. You know, let me know, and we'll figure it out and go from there. Like, dude, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So reach out to me. My email's kunal@bullson.ws. You could text me 517-974-1480. Nobody ever does, but you always can if you want to. So I got to get going, guys. As always, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been fast. And we will be here next week. Peace. Guys, we may possibly move next week's class to Thursday because I have like 4 webinars on Wednesday just by blind luck. So we may be moving Wednesday's session to Thursday, or, you know, I may just have a guest come on, like one of our students and maybe have him do something for you guys. That could be actually kind of fun too. Actually, Eric, you know what? That's what you should do. We should get you on with Taylor and you guys do a hangout rather than having to reschedule a different date. Fuck, that's brilliant. All right, guys. Peace in the Middle East. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. And as always, I apologize if I start swearing too much or talk like a crazy person. When I say I look like an Adonis, I'm just kidding. I'm more like the brown bread Pitt. Love you.